Hello Swatantra TV viewers. I am Mahima, welcoming you to our English bulletin with latest news, updates and analysis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday launched a blistering attack on the Congress party in the Rajya Sabha, accusing it of being the biggest opponent of the constitution and running a fake narrative to mislead the public. During his reply to the debate on the motion of thanks to the President's address, the Prime Minister challenged the opposition's claim that the recent 2024 elections were fought on the issue of protecting the constitution. Reminding the House of the 1977 elections, Modi said it was fought for the protection of the constitution following the emergency. It was the first election fought for the protection of the constitution, he asserted. People have more faith in us for the protection of the constitution. Therefore, they gave the BJP the mandate, Modi said, criticizing the Congress for its hypocrisy on the constitutional matters. He also questioned the constitutional basis for these actions and criticized the party for prioritizing one family over established protocols. The Prime Minister also called out Congress allies, particularly those representing backward communities, for aligning with a party which he accused of having a poor record on the constitutional matters. He suggested that these alliances were born out of political opportunism rather than genuine concern for constitutional values. He criticized the opposition for focusing on a safe corruption campaign instead of engaging in discussions on development vision. Modi's attack on the Congress in the upper house took an unexpected turn when the opposition staged a walkout midway through his speech. This prompted sharp reactions from both the Prime Minister and Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar.
लेकिन मैं पिछले 2 दिन से देख रहा हूं कि आखिर तक पराजय भी स्वीकार हो रहा है और दबे मन से, कम मन से विजय भी स्वीकार हो रहा है। आदरणीय सभापति जी, कांग्रेस के हमारे कुछ साथियों को मैं हृदय से धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि नतीजे आए तब से हमारे एक साथी की तरफ से मैं देख रहा था, उनकी पार्टी उनको समर्थन तो नहीं करते थे, लेकिन अकेले झंडा लेकर दौड़ रहे थे। और मैं कहता हूं, वो जो कहते थे उनके मुंह में घी शक्कर। और ये मैं क्यों कह रहा हूं? क्योंकि उन्होंने बार बार ढोल पीटा था 1/3 सरकार। इससे बड़ा सत्य क्या हो सकता है कि हमारे 10 साल हुए हैं, 20 और बाकी है। 1/3 हुआ है, 1/3 हुआ है, 2/3 बाकी। और इसलिए उनकी इस भविष्यवाणी को लिए मैं उनके मुंह में घी सकता।
The Congress on Wednesday claimed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's legitimacy has been diminished to 1/3 and his government is on its last legs and can fall anytime. The opposition party's assertion came over Prime Minister Modi's remarks in the Rajya Sabha that since the results came out, one Congress leader kept on beating the drum that there is a 1/3 government in place. Modi's remarks were an apparent dig at Congress leader Jairam Ramesh, who has been referring to the PM as 1/3 PM. Reacting to the remarks, Congress General Secretary Jairam Ramesh said, as always, the 1/3 Prime Minister is distorting. The label of 1/3 does not refer to his government's tenure. It refers to non-biological PM. After the resounding personal, political, and moral defeat of 4th June, it is his legitimacy and aura that has been diminished to 1/3, and he himself is dependent on 2 other ends for his political survival. His government is anyways on its last legs and can fall anytime, Jairam Ramesh said in an apparent reference to J.D.U. S. Nitish Kumar and TDP's N. Chandrababu Naidu. In his speech in the Rajya Sabha, Prime Minister Modi said the 2024 general election verdict showed people have rejected propaganda and voted for performance. He said the politics of misleading people has been defeated. Modi said that for his party BJP, the constitution is not just a compilation of articles but its spirit and words are very important too. flanked by India Bloc MPs after they staged a walkout from the Rajya Sabha. Leader of opposition Mallikarjun Kharge on Wednesday accused the RSS, the ideological mentor of the ruling BJP, of being anti-constitution. The Congress leader also accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of giving wrong information in the House. The MPs of the India Bloc, who staged the walkout from the upper house of parliament in the middle of Modi's reply to the debate on the motion of thanks on the president's address, gathered at the gate of the old parliament building, the Samvidhan Sadan. Besides Kharge, Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi and P. Chidambaram, Nationalist Congress Party SP Chief Sharad Pawar, DMK's Tiruchi Siva, TMC's Sagarika Ghose and Sushmita Dev, JMM's Mahua Maji, Rashtriya Janata Dal's Manoj Jha and Shiv Sena UBT's Priyanka Chaturvedi were among those present. The Congress leader quoted an article from RSS mouthpiece organizer from 30th November 1950 and claimed that the organization had opposed the constitution, saying it does not have anything Indian. They had opposed and rejected the constitution and now they are talking about protecting it. They have been anti-constitution since the beginning, he said. Maji said the opposition staged the walkout as the leader of opposition was not allowed to speak in the House. Two unaligned and key regional parties charted separate political paths in Parliament's first session in the Modi government's third term as the BJD joined the opposition in targeting the treasury benches, while the YSR Congress party kept away from such protests and remained sympathetic to the centre. Both the parties have suffered serious setbacks in the recent Lok Sabha polls and lost power in their respective states, where assembly elections were held simultaneously. Both had supported the ruling BJP on key legislative matters in parliament during its previous term at the centre. The Andhra Pradesh-based YSRCP and Odisha's BJD continue to have a sizable presence in the Rajya Sabha, where the BJP-led NDA does not have a majority, and their stand on issues can tilt the balance of power. BJD leader and Rajya Sabha MP Susmit Patra led his party colleagues on Wednesday in walking out of the Rajya Sabha, along with the opposition parties, during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reply to the motion of thanks on the President's address to a joint sitting of Parliament. The BJD has 9 members in the 245-member House, while the YSRCP has 11. The BJD has no MP in the Lok Sabha, while the YSRCP has 4 members in the lower House of Parliament. V. Vijayasai Reddy, the YSRCP leader in the Rajya Sabha, condemned the opposition party's decision to stage protests in the Lok Sabha when Modi spoke there on Tuesday. Raising slogans against the BJP-led centre and the National Testing Agency, the student outfits of some India Bloc parties staged a protest at the Jantar Mantar here on Wednesday against alleged irregularities in several competitive exams. In a separate protest, the Congress Youth Wing, Indian Youth Congress, staged a demonstration against the irregularities near the protest site. Several Youth Congress workers shaved their heads as a sign of protest while raising anti-Modi slogans. The members of the left-backed All India Students Association, Student Federation of India, All India Students Federation, along with the Samajwadi Chhatra Sabha and the Congress Students Wing NSUI gathered at the Jantar Mantar to take out a march. The student groups aim to march to the parliament to press for their demands of scrapping the National Testing Agency, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation and decentralization of entrance tests. However, the students were not able to hold the march due to heavy police deployment and barricading at the site. They also demanded re-examination of the medical entrance test NETUG for all candidates who had appeared in 5th May exam. Meanwhile, the police has registered an FIR under the new criminal laws against some students.
हट जा भाई साहब।
शिक्षा मंत्री इस्तीफा दो, 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 शिक्षा मंत्री इस्तीफा दो।
Telangana Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy urged police officers to strive to check supply of drugs in the state like how soldiers do their duties on the country's borders. The Chief Minister, who had a meeting with police officers of the rank of inspectors and above, praised the state and city police for their work, according to an official release on Wednesday. The Union Home Ministry and police of other states seek inputs from the state police officials with regard to investigation of cases like bomb blasts and others, he said. He said the police should reduce keeping a tab on the political system and focus on checking crime, the release said. He said excess security need not be given to public representatives and that security appropriate to a leader should be provided. There need not be any high importance vis-a-vis security for anyone, including him, Revant Reddy said. He said police schools, like Sainik schools, would be established for the benefit of children of policemen. Highlighting that Hyderabad represents the brand image of Telangana, he said the state would suffer if crimes in the state capital are not checked. He urged policemen to safeguard the brand image of Hyderabad.
గత 10 సంవత్సరాల నిర్లక్ష్యం వల్ల ఈరోజు గల్లీ గల్లీలో గంజాయి దొరికే పరిస్థితి వచ్చింది. ఇవాళ ఎక్కడ చూసినా కాలేజీలలో లేదా ఇతర ప్రాంతాలలో డ్రగ్స్ అనేది విచ్చలవిడిగా ఈరోజు అమ్మే పరిస్థితి వచ్చింది. వీటిని నియంత్రించడానికి సంపూర్ణంగా మా అధికారులకు అధికారం ఇచ్చినాం, అదేవిధంగా సిబ్బందిని కేటాయించినాం. వాళ్ళకు స్ఫూర్తి కలిగే విధంగా మా ప్రభుత్వం వాళ్ళకు అండగా నిలబడుతుంది. ఈరోజు శ్రీమంతులో లేకపోతే కొద్దిమంది వ్యక్తులు బలి కావడం లేదు. మధ్యతరగతి వాళ్ళు, పేదవాళ్ళ పిల్లలు కూడా ఈరోజు గంజాయికి బానిసలై గంజాయి మత్తులో నేరాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఈ మధ్యకాలంలో చిన్నపిల్లల మీద జరుగుతున్న దాడులు, దాని వెనకాల కారణాలు చూస్తే ప్రధానంగా గంజాయి లాంటి మాదక ద్రవ్యాలు వాడిన వాళ్ళే ఈ నేరాలకు పాల్పడుతున్నారు. ఈరోజు ఈ నేరాలను నియంత్రించాలి, మళ్ళీ తెలంగాణలో ఉద్యమ స్ఫూర్తిని నింపాలి. తెలంగాణ అంటే సమస్యల మీద పోరాటం చేసే గడ్డ. తెలంగాణ ప్రాంత యువకులు దేనికి బానిసలు గారు? సమస్యల మీద పోరాటం చేసే సమర్థులు. తెలంగాణలో ఉన్న యూనివర్సిటీలు, విద్యాలయాలు సమస్యల పరిష్కారం కోసం, సామాజిక అసమానతల తొలగింపు కోసం పనిచేసే విధంగా వీటిని తీర్చిదిద్దాలి అని చెప్పి మా ప్రభుత్వం నిర్ణయించుకున్నది. అందుకే ఈరోజు సైబర్ క్రైమ్ అధికారులకు, తెలంగాణ యాంటీ నార్కోటిక్స్ బ్యూరోకి సంబంధించిన అధికారులకు నేను సూచన చేస్తున్నా, ఈ నేరాలను సమర్థవంతంగా నియంత్రించండి. ఇందులో సమర్థత ప్రదర్శించిన వాళ్లకు మీకు ప్రమోషన్స్ ఇచ్చే బాధ్యత మా ప్రభుత్వం తీసుకుంటుంది.
In view of some cases of Zika virus reported from parts of Maharashtra, the Union Health Ministry on Wednesday issued an advisory to all states highlighting the need for maintaining a constant vigil over the situation in the country. States have been urged to focus on screening pregnant women for Zika virus and monitor the growth of fetus of expecting mothers who tested positive for the infection. Besides the advisory by Director General of Health Services Dr. Atul Goyal, the ministry also asked health facilities to identify a nodal officer to monitor and act to keep the premises free of Aedes mosquito infestation. Zika is an Aedes mosquito-borne viral disease like dengue and chikungunya. Though non-fatal, Zika is associated with microcephaly, a condition where the head is much smaller than expected in babies born to affected pregnant women. It is a cause of major concern. As Zika is associated with microcephaly and neurological consequences in the fetus of the affected pregnant women, states have been advised to alert the clinicians for close monitoring, the advisory stated. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu on Wednesday vowed to start rebuilding Amravati by restoring investor confidence and reconstructing its brand image after crossing all the hurdles set in its path allegedly by the erstwhile YSRCP regime. Releasing a white paper on the state of the Greenfield capital city conceptualized during the TDP government between 2014 and 2019, the Chief Minister said he will tell everything about Amravati to the centre and move in a fast and time-bound manner to execute it. Naidu, while addressing a press conference at the Secretariat, observed that reconstruction of Amravati will go ahead with the existing master plan but will incorporate modern advancements. He highlighted that Singapore had prepared 3 master plans for Amravati, which included Capital Region Concept Master Plan, Capital City Master Plan and Seed Capital Area Detailed Master Plan. As per the plans developed by Singapore, Amravati would house a sports city, government city, tourism city, finance city, justice city, knowledge city, media city, health city and electronics city, 9 in total. According to the CM, Amravati, a self-financed project, had witnessed the largest land pooling exercise in the world, encompassing a commitment of 34,400 acres of land by 29,966 farmers. With a total project cost of 51,687 crore rupees, Naidu said tenders were called for works worth 41,171 crore rupees and bills were paid to the tune of 4,319 crore rupees in the earlier TDP regime. He alleged that the previous YSRCP government had halted all work related to the construction of Amravati between 2019 and 2024, leaving dues worth 1,269 crore rupees thus far.
నెక్స్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఇది అసెంబ్లీ మనది బెస్ట్ అసెంబ్లీ ఇండియాలో ఉండాలని చెప్పి ప్లాన్ చేసాం. ఇది హైకోర్ట్ పక్కన కట్టింది డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కోర్ట్. అది ఇమీడియట్గా రావాలని డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కోర్టు కట్టాం. హైకోర్టు ఇది ఇక్కడ వచ్చే కొద్దికి 5 టవర్స్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ బ్లాక్స్ మొత్తం హెడ్ ఆఫ్ ది డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అన్నీ కూడా ఒక చోట ఉండాలని, ఎఫిషియన్సీ పెరగాలని ఒక న్యూ కాన్సెప్ట్ తీసుకొచ్చాం. ఈరోజు ఢిల్లీలో ఏదైతే అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ సెంట్రల్ విస్తాకు తీసుకొచ్చారో ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్లో తీసుకొచ్చి ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఇక్కడే పెడదాం అని చెప్పి తీసుకొచ్చాం. ఇది కానీ వచ్చుంటే దానికి నార్మన్ అండ్ ఫోస్టర్ కన్సార్టియం యూకే బేస్ మాస్టర్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్గా పెట్టి మొత్తం తయారు చేశాం. గ్రీనరీకి ఎక్కువ ప్రాధాన్యత ఇచ్చాం, వాటర్ ఫ్రంట్కి ఎక్కువ ప్రాధాన్యత ఇచ్చాం. అది అన్ని రోడ్లలో కూడా మీరు ఒకసారి చూస్తే ఒక్కొక్క రోడ్డుకు ఒక్కొక్క కలర్ ఫ్లవర్స్ పెట్టాం. అంటే ఇవన్నీ ఫ్లైఓవర్స్ మీకు డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్లైఓవర్స్, మామూలు ఫ్లైఓవర్స్ కాకుండా దేశంలో ఏ రాష్ట్రంలో ఏ సిటీకి లేకుండా ఫ్లైఓవర్స్ మనకు కృష్ణా నది మనకు ఒక్కరికే అడ్వాంటేజ్. ఏ సిటీ కూడా ఇన్ని కిలోమీటర్లు రివర్ ఫ్రంట్ ఎక్కడా లేదు. ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ ఒక పక్క గోదావరి వాటర్ నిన్నే పట్టిసీమ ఆపరేట్ చేశాం. ఈరోజు
The death toll in the stampede that broke out in a religious festival at Hathras in Uttar Pradesh rose to 121 on Wednesday, and police filed an FIR against the organizers, accusing them of hiding evidence and flouting conditions with 2.5 lakh people crammed into a venue in which only 80,000 were permitted. A day after the stampede in Fulrai village at a congregation by religious preacher Bhole Baba snuffed out the lives of their loved ones, stunned families tried to come to terms with their loss. Crowds gathered around hospitals, some looking for those missing, some there to identify bodies and others tending to the injured. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath met those injured in the stampede. A team consisting of ADG Agra and Aligarh Divisional Commissioner has been constituted to inquire into the cause of the incident. The report is likely to be submitted on Wednesday. Of the 116 who died on Tuesday, all were women, except for 7 children and 1 man. A pile of slippers at the spot were mute testimony to the tragedy that had befallen so many. While the state police lodged an FIR against the organizers, the name Bhole Baba, who organized the festival, is not in the list of accused. Giving a sense of what took place, the FIR alleged that the organizers hid the actual number of devotees coming to the festivals while seeking permission, did not cooperate in traffic management, and hid evidence after the incident. The FIR apparently gave a clean chit to the police and administration, saying they did whatever possible from the available resources. A court here on Wednesday in Delhi extended till 12th July the judicial custody of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the money laundering case related to the alleged excise policy scam. Kejriwal, who is in jail till 12th July in the CBI case related to the excise policy, appeared before the court of Special Judge Kaveri Baveja through video conference. The court, meanwhile, reserved for 6 June its order on Kejriwal's application to allow his wife Sunita Kejriwal to be present as an attendant during his medical checkup. During the proceedings, Kejriwal requested the court's permission to speak, but the court said he is already being represented through his counsels. Kejriwal said his wife was instrumental in managing his health over the years, and as she had a detailed knowledge about his ailments and medical history, granting her access to his medical records every week was justifiable and essential. It sought the court's direction to the prison authorities to allow her to be his attendant during the medical consultations or follow-ups with the medical board or doctors, which would also allow Sunita Kejriwal to independently consult and seek advice from them. The Enforcement Directorate has opposed the application. Benchmark BSE Sensex breached the historic 80,000 level intraday for the first time, while Nifty raised more than 162 points to close at a fresh lifetime high on Wednesday following heavy buying in banking and FMCG shares amid firm global market trends. The 30-share Sensex hit the historic 80,000 mark for the first time earlier in the day. It surged 632.85 points or 0.79% to a record intraday high of 80,074.30. The index later closed near the 80,000 level at 79,986.80, up by 545.35 points or 0.69% over the last close. As many as 24 Sensex shares closed with gains and 6 declined. The BSE Sensex breached the 78,000 level on 25th June and 79,000 for the first time on 27th June. The Nifty climbed 162.65 points or 0.67% to end at an all-time high of 24,286.50. During the day, it zoomed 183.4 points or 0.76% to hit a fresh intraday record peak of 24,307.25. As many as 40 Nifty shares advanced, 9 declined and 1 closed unchanged. Among the Sensex pack, Adani Ports rose the most by 2.49%. Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, State Bank of India, Power Grid, JSW Steel, Bajaj Finance and Tata Steel were the biggest gainers. On the other hand, Tata Consultancy Services, Titan, Reliance Industries, Tata Motors and Larsen & Toubro were the laggards. In the broader market, the BSE Midcap gauge jumped 0.86% and the Small Cap Index climbed 0.86%. Foreign institutional investors offloaded equities worth 2,000.12 crore rupees on Tuesday, according to exchange data. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV every day. This is Mahima, signing off. Keep watching Swatantra TV.